Well, thanks to everybody that's tuning in to another CSE newly listed clip. I'm Anil Mall, representing the Canadian Securities Exchange, and I'm here virtually with Greg Pendura. Greg is the CEO of Regenx. Greg, I appreciate you joining us today, and thank you so much for your time. I hope you're doing well.
I am, Anil. Thanks for the invite.
Excellent. Let's jump right into this. I want to talk a little bit about Regenx Tech and what the company does. It's obviously in the clean tech space. Let's talk a little bit about some of the trends that you're seeing in the clean tech market. Why should investors be paying attention to this sector?
Well, in our space, particularly on the extraction of precious metals, we have large companies that are more than interested in the clean tech environment. The whole idea of recyclability, sustainability is key to their shareholders, and they are looking for opportunities to align themselves with companies such as ours, where they'll be able to advise their shareholders that they are using not only a recycled product to manufacture new materials, but it's done in an eco-friendly, totally environmentally friendly manner. So it's a big item these days, and all the way from carbon credits to various government funding opportunities which are available for clean tech. So investors can share in that, and it's a positive upswing for investors if they're involved in a clean tech company that goes commercial.
So why don't you give us an introduction to Regenx Tech and how this company falls into the landscape?
Sure. We were involved in the extraction of precious metals in a clean tech technology. We've initially focused on diesel catalytic converters to get the platinum and the palladium from that. And the reason for that is that the only commercially viable alternative to extracting precious metals from diesel in the past was smelters, and smelters now are refusing to get involved in that. It's creating processing issues for them. They're just outlying. They're refusing them. It's a multi-billion-dollar annual industry, and there's no home to go. So we will be the only commercially viable clean tech company that can do this, and I believe we'll have smelters as partners with ourselves as we go forward.
Got it. Now I want to talk a little bit about your background, Greg. Talk to us about how you got into this space.
Well, we got involved in this space originally our roots were in the junior mining sector, and we sold one of our assets in Spain and used that capital starting about 5 to 7 years ago on trying to develop equipment that could make mining greener, put it that way. And we focused in on that. And from there, we sort of got evolved from mining to computerized type things, e-waste. And from there, we got involved into diesel catalytic converters, mainly because of our partner in Tennessee, who is a very big recycler. And we're working hand in hand penetrate this market in the U.S. initially.
And what about some of your team members that you've brought on board to make sure that this company and project succeed?
Yeah, our team members, we've got a strong team both on the R&D side and on the technical engineering side. We've done all our R&D in Vancouver, in our lab in Vancouver. Very strong team in that regard. We've built our own pilot plant, and that's from our fabrication prowess in the past. So we've basically done everything ourselves from start to finish, and from finance to engineering to chemistry, we've got a strong team in place.
Wonderful. Now, obviously, there's a lot of interest within this subsector. Lots of companies coming to the market. What would you say, Greg, makes you and your team stand out from some of your peers that are in a similar space?
Yeah, well, fortunately for ourselves, in dealing with diesel catalytic converters, there is no commercial competition right now. there's us and there's going to be smelters. So we are in the fortunate position right now to be the only game in town. So it's kind of puts us in an enviable position, and we've just started our commercial production phase right now, and probably by August we'll be checking off the boxes and saying that commercially that plant is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And when we say that to the world, we feel there'll be a noticeable share appreciation in our stock price.
Greg, are you able to talk a little bit about some of the hurdles that are still there to overcome in this specific industry?
Well, I mean, the hurdles to overcome in the industry for most companies is how do you compete against smelters? Smelters are pretty efficient in what they do. But as I'm saying, fortunately for us, and the reason why we chose diesel was because smelters are avoiding that processing with diesel catalytic converters simply because of the increased silicon carbide in the materials, and they'd rather not go down that road. So there's a huge stockpile of diesel catalytic converters globally. It's not just a North American problem, it's a global problem. So we've had multiple inquiries now from very large automotive companies and smelters who are looking at us. Two have visited us in Tennessee already, and they're looking at the opportunity to move forward with us in some capacity.
Wonderful. Now, the company has recently begun trading on the CSE. Are there, and I know you've touched on this briefly, but can you talk to us about some of the milestones our viewers and investors can then look out for from you and your team in let's say, the latter half of 2023?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to happen. This is going to be a quick story. As I said, we're starting our commercial run now. By sometimes in August, it's going to be completed, and we will begin our commercial production line. That's obviously going to be a pretty big news item for ourselves, and all our shareholders and new people will obviously be waiting more than patiently for that. And then after that, from August on till the end of the year, we'll be announcing our recoverabilities, our efficiencies to show that the profitability of our operation is as we've talked about in the past. You can also hear about we'll be quickly putting in our orders and the procurement for additional modules. We've just built one module, and a full plant will have 4 modules, and that will process 10 tons per day of material.
Got it. Now, I would encourage anybody watching that's on the sidelines to go to your website to read up on your project. Obviously read up on your background, the team's background. Obviously, do their due diligence and sign up for your press releases so they can keep up with updates. And eventually, reach out to you and your team should they have more questions. So where would we direct our viewers to go to find this information?
They can just go to our website, www.regenx.tech, and they can contact the company from that website, get all the information that we're doing from that website, and feel free to contact myself as we move forward.
Well, Greg, I want to say welcome to you and your team to the Canadian Securities Exchange. We wish you and your team nothing but success as you move forward in this journey. To everybody watching, you've been listening to Mr. Greg Pendura. Greg is the president and CEO of Regenx Tech Corp, listed on the CSE under the symbol RGX. Greg, I appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and look forward to hosting you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anil. Good nice being here.
Likewise.